The Amova High Growth Fund is a diversified fund made up predominantly of those growth asset classes, equities and listed property. So it's designed to provide maximum returns over the long term by investing in those asset classes where we have expectations for much higher long-term returns, and with that comes the reality that there will be more volatility, more swings and ups and downs as we go through market cycles, but we expect those asset classes to deliver the highest returns, and this fund is built to be predominantly invested in those and a very minimal allocation to the defensive asset classes such as cash. The High Growth Fund is designed for an investor with the ability and with the willingness to take on the higher risk or the high volatility of these high growth funds with the expectation that it will deliver them higher returns in the long run. So typically it would be a younger investor. In KiwiSaver world it would be an investor with a decent part of their career and future earnings ahead of them, and that ability for them to sort of drip feed into this high growth fund over many years is what gives them that ability to take on the swings of the equity markets and those growth asset classes. The asset allocation for the High Growth Fund is predominantly those growth asset classes of equities and listed property. We've broken it up into the different regions. Over 2/3 of the fund will be invested in global equities and just over 30% in the Australasian equity and listed property market, and a very small allocation to cash. Around half of the global equity allocation will be hedged to the Kiwi dollar, which gives us a nice buffer should the Kiwi dollar depreciate, but then also protection if the Kiwi dollar was to strengthen. So it's diversified around the world, but predominantly within those growth asset classes of equity and listed property. The investment decision-making process for the High Growth Fund has been allocated across 5 different specialist active investment teams. For the Australasian asset classes of equities and listed property, we've got a Amova team here in Auckland researching that area. And then for the global equities, we've appointed 4 different global equity managers that we've tasked with the responsibility of managing our clients' global equity allocation. And for that much larger global equity universe, that gives us the advantage of scouring those thousands of companies that are listed on stock exchanges to look for the very best ideas for our clients. The Amova High Growth Fund is an institutional grade diversified fund for KiwiSaver members. The underlying securities are selected by a number of different specialist active investment teams, both locally and around the world. So it's a truly diversified fund, diversified by asset class, by region, but also by the number of different investment teams contributing stocks and ideas to the portfolio. And we believe that by combining those specialist teams, both locally and around the world, that this is a best of breed offering for KiwiSaver members.